Hey ghouls and gals, welcome back to my channel. My name is Taylor and today's video we are going over some November horror and speculative fiction releases. It is a little bit of a shorter video. We've got I think just about 8 titles to talk about, but they sound very interesting. So go ahead and grab a seat, grab a snack. Let's talk about these new releases. Like all of these videos, I will have the information on the screen with me as I talk about these books, as well as information about the books listed down below in the description bar. So let's go ahead and get started with the first book. So the first book I want to talk about comes out November 4th. It's crazy that we're talking about November release dates. There are only 2 more months left in the year. That's wild. But the first book is The Long Low Whistle by Laurel Hightower, and this is part of the Killer VHS series. They're not like all one long series where like you have to read all of them, but they're a series of novellas that are supposed to capture like 80s horror movies or just like the campy fun of a VHS movie. This is a series, all the books are written by different authors, by Shortwave Media. It has such new classics to the horror genre like the Candy Cane Kills books, so I am quite excited about this one, and this feels a little bit found footagey to me in terms of the vibe. The sound of the whistle that split Patricia's life in 2 still haunts her 2 decades later, its echoes leaving their stamp on everything she does. The rift caused by her father's unsolved death haunts her, pushing her to ever more dangerous attempts to put his memory to rest. When a group of amateur cryptid hunters shows up in her small town, Trish doesn't hesitate to take what might be her only chance to find answers, even if they are searching in the last place she should be. A sealed abandoned mine, tight underground passages filled with unseen creatures, and darkness await the crew, but it's the only path forward, and Trish won't leave her father's legacy buried, delving ever deeper into danger to where that whistle still moans. So cave horror creeps me out. I would never go in a cave willingly, so adding that already to a horror premise sounds terrifying. I love the idea of cryptid hunters, and I'm very intrigued by this one. Next up, we have Prickle by Erin K. Larson-Burnett. This one follows main character Duscha, who tattoos, guided by a magic she barely understands. The ink, Chudokraska, her babushka calls it, has always lived in her blood, but lately it's been acting on its own. Clients come in asking for wolves, saints, and symbols. They leave with something else entirely. Duscha tries to control it, to cleanse the space, to carry on, but the hunger is growing, hers and the ink's, and the bodies it marks are no longer just canvases, they're doors. So I'm pretty intrigued by this one. It kind of reminds me of an X-Files episode, but not to spoil that premise, this one sounds like a slightly more cosmic paranormal lens on the haunted tattoo sort of vibe. So I definitely think this one sounds very, very unique. I'm a person with a lot of tattoos myself, so who knows, maybe this book will unlock some new fears for me. The next release date is November 11th, and I'm not really sure what genre to categorize this next book in. That would be God's Junk Drawer by Peter Clines. Love the cover. The cover is actually what drew me to look into this one more because I do love a good dinosaur. So this is a mind-bending tale of mystery and adventure set at the dawn of time. Welcome to the Valley. 40 years ago, the Gather family vanished during a whitewater rafting trip and were presumed dead. 5 years later, Billy, the son of that family, reappeared on the far side of the world, telling an impossible tale of a valley populated by dinosaurs, aliens, Neanderthals, and androids. Little Billy became the punchline of many jokes until he faded from the public eye. Now, a group of graduate astronomy students follow their professor up a mountain for what they believe is a simple stargazing trip, but they're about to travel a lot farther than they planned. So this one seems like a sci-fi adventure mystery sort of story. Very intrigued by maybe parallel worlds or time travel. Not really sure what's happening here, and of course the title of this one, God's Junk Drawer, kind of suggests that it's going to be a very eclectic time, so I'm looking forward to checking it out. Next up, coming out the 11th, we have Petty Lies. This is originally written by Sulmi and it's translated by Sarah Lyo, and this is We Need to Talk About Kevin meets the vegetarian in this chilling chilling epistolary novel of 4 characters locked in a frightening cycle of vengeance and comeuppance. Mira is a desperate young woman hired by a wealthy single mother to tutor her lonesome son, but Mira is not who she presents herself to be. She's haunted by the death of her own family and motivated by the dark pulse of vengeance. Structured around 4 different letters and journal entries, each new section brings us deeper into a web of cruelty, consequence, and closer to the truth. So I am very intrigued by this one. I liked The Vegetarian. I have not read We Need to Talk About Kevin. I need to. I know that it is considered a horror classic. I think it's a horror classic. I do know that it is a classic that gets brought up a lot when talking about darker books. So I am very intrigued by this one. I love an epistolary horror, so I can't wait to check this one out as well. The next book also comes out the 11th, and that is There Is No Antimemetics Division, a novel by QNTM. Maybe Quantum, I'm not sure. Humanity is under assault by malevolent anti-memes, ideas that attack memory, identity, and the fabric of reality itself in this whip-smart tale of science fiction horror, an entirely reimagined and expanded version of the beloved online novel. They're all around us, hiding in plain sight. One could be in the room with you right now, just to your left. You could be seeing it right now, but from this second to the next, you'll forget that you did. If you managed to jot down a note, the paper would look blank to you afterwards. These entities can feed on your most cherished memories, the things that make you you, and you'll never even know anything changed. They're predators equipped for the ultimate camouflage, and they aren't just feeding on us, they're invading. But how do you fight an enemy when you can never even know that you are at war? How do you contain something you can't record or remember? Welcome to the Antimemetics Division. No, this is not your first day. So QNTM is the internet handle of Sam Hughes, who is a writer and software developer living in the UK. So I think based on the author's knowledge of software, I think that'll lend a very chilling perspective to this sci-fi horror, and just this whole entire synopsis, just reading it gave me a chill. I think memory horror is such a terrifying concept, so I do think this one is going to be quite frightening. Next up, coming out November 18th, we have I'll Make a Spectacle of You by Beatrice, Winifred, Iker. This heart-pounding Southern Gothic horror debut takes readers to Brixbury University, the oldest and most storied HBCU, historically Black college or university in the nation. But as one student is about to find out, a long history comes with a legacy of secrets. Zora Robinson is an ambitious grad student in her dream program, Appalachian Studies at Brixbury University. When her thesis advisor hands her a strange diary and suggests she research the local folklore about a beast roaming the woods surrounding campus, Zora finds a community uneager to talk to an outsider. As she delves into the history of the beast, she uncovers a rumored secret society that has tenuous ties to the beast and Brixbury itself. Zora soon finds herself plagued by visions of the past, and her grip on reality starts to slip as she struggles to uncover what is real and what is folklore. There's something in the woods, and it has its eyes on Zora. So I'm pretty excited about this one. I love a dark academia, a campus novel, and I'll be the first to admit those are at least the most popular ones in this genre, very heavily focused in New England. So I'm excited to get a Southern Gothic and just a little bit of a different perspective on a campus novel horror, and I'm very excited. Again, this kind of has like the cryptids, the monsters. I'm really excited. I think I'm gonna get a little bit of campus horror, which I like, and then also a small town Southern Gothic, so I cannot wait to check this one out. The next book on my radar also comes out the 18th, and that is You Watched in Silence by H. Lee Justine, and I added this to my want to read because it's compared to the atmospheric tension of The Haunting of Bly Manor, and I really love, I mean, all of Mike Flanagan's work, but I do have a soft spot for Bly Manor, so I am pretty excited. If this can capture any of that magic, then I think I'll really like this one. So we are following main character Caitlin, who believes her world is falling apart until she gets a message from the only person who can put it back together. family blogger Bella Green, the celebrity influencer she's obsessed with, offers Caitlin a job as nanny to her twins. Like millions of others, Caitlin knows that Bella's life is in pieces too because she has been canceled over a perceived indifference to a tragedy, so Bella fled with her family to a remote island off the coast of Washington. For Caitlin, the opportunity to help Bella will also help her to heal, a way to honor the past while creating a new future. She can't believe how easily she bonds with the twins. She also feels an instant connection with the family's flirtatious chef, Hannah, who soon stirs romantic impulses that Caitlin never imagined having again. It feels like magic until she catches a glimpse of a mysterious girl that nobody else can see. Before she knows it, Caitlin descends into constant terror, unable to tell if she is losing her mind or being haunted by a past she'd rather forget. Worse, there is magic here, a dark force that's coming increasingly close to her home. So we've got that nanny setup and the little hint of a sapphic relationship, so I can definitely see how this one is being compared to Bly Manor or The Turn of the Screw, and I think I could like this one, kind of a modern gothic reimagining. I do love a good ghost story with this type of premise. I don't know if it's ghosts, it said magic, not ghosts, so we'll just have to see for this one, but I hope when I do finally pick this one up that it does indeed give Bly Manor vibes. And then last but not least, we have coming out November 25th, The Villa Once Beloved by Victor Manibo. A dark history is unearthed amid crumbling facades in a new gothic tale of family, homecoming, and post-colonial vengeance. Villa Sepulveda is a storied relic of the Philippines' past, a Spanish colonial manor, its moldering stonework filled with centuries-old heirlooms, nestled in a remote coconut plantation. When their patriarch dies mysteriously, his far-flung family returns to their ancestral home. Filipino-American student Adrian invites his college girlfriend Sophie, a transracial adoptee who knows little about her own Filipino heritage, to the funeral of a man who was entwined with the history of the country itself. Sophie soon learns that there is more to the Sepulvedas than a grand tradition of political and entrepreneurial success. Adrian's relatives clash viciously amid grief, confusion, and questions about the family curse that their matriarch refuses to answer. When a landslide traps them all in the house, secrets begin to emerge, revealing sins both intimately personal and unthinkably public. As a series of ill omens befall the villa, Sophie must decide whom to trust and whom to flee before the family's true legacy comes to take its revenge. So this definitely sounds like an intriguing premise, an inheritance sort of story, a haunted house, a family curse, and of course we're going to have that unique background. This is a Tagalog author and I'm very excited to check this one out. My partner's Filipino. We're always looking for more Filipino voices, especially in horror. So I'm very excited to see this one. Really feels like it's going to delve into the history and the culture of colonialization that the Spanish enacted upon the Philippines. And I think that's going to add a lot of layer and depth to this story. So I'm very excited to check it out. But that is it. Those are some of my most anticipated releases for November. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what November books, what November releases you're picking up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of my content. Stay safe, stay spooky, and I will see you out in the next video. Bye!